talk for a minute. Oh boy, so a little bit of interkingdom anthropology for you. Here on Stewer, at least, guilds are terms that we use for informal groups centered around A&S interests. And I happen to head up the local woodworkers guild here in the barony of Wiesenfeuer. And just the other day I was putting together some posters to go out in front of the classes that are the meetings that we hold monthly. And before anyone gets any grandiose ideas about what these posters are, at my last meeting I quickly ran out in front of the classroom, because we rent a room from the local library, and I quickly ran out in front of the classroom, and on the whiteboard by the door I wrote down Woodworkers Guild, open to public, no charge. Figured maybe I get an extra person in there. The whole point of the guild is woodworking, but there's definitely a strong secondary theme of public engagement. Not necessarily recruiting, though that would absolutely be wonderful, but I would love it if more people in the community knew who the SCA was and didn't think of us as strange as their first thought. That's for me one of the major side goals of having these classes out in public. And for the first time in a while since I've been running these meetings, I had like 5 people walk in. We damn near doubled our attendance from just walk-ins, but halfway through the class. And it was great. I mean, did they miss the first part of the class? Yes, I'm not going to minimize that, but they were engaging. We were talking with people. One of them signed up on our Facebook group, the Baronial Facebook group, I think right there on her phone. It was great. It really was. It was just a marvelous experience. Great people to talk with. And of course, they were all there for woodworking, so we got to talk shop for almost a half hour after the class was over. And when I was making these posters, one poster is Baronial Woodworkers Guild, and it says open to public, no charge, and a little arrow, so I can just roll this thing out and set it up wherever I'm at, and people know they can just walk up. And on the inside, on another poster I'm making right now, there is it's pretty much a meet the teacher, in my case, meet the guild head, and it's just a very, very short biography of me with a black and white picture of me and a QR code with my link tree. Again, I'm not necessarily trying to advertise the SCA per se on this, but if people come in and they engage me, I want them to be able to reach out to me again in the future and not have to go through 30 different channels or have to immediately go through the Baronet. They met me, they can talk with me, and if they want to know more about the SCA, I'm happy to go, hey, here's our Baronial group, here's the Facebook group, here's the Discord group, and all that. And it kind of dawned on me that, between the posters and the presentations and the guild meetings I run monthly and all the posts I do, this, it can look really impressive. I'm not going to lie. From the outside looking in, it can look like I'm some sort of, borderline masterwork woodworker, running a guild with a curriculum, and I've got posters, and I've been doing it a long time, and that's a very flattering light to cast me in. But I really, the point of this video is I wanted to just kind of share with you guys how absolutely madcap it is running a guild here. It's a wonderful experience. I'm not giving up anytime soon, but it's a bit of a madhouse. So it starts off with, when do we hold our meetings? And the thing is there's never a singular good day. It's always, first of all, when am I available? Because I'm the one who sets up the room. It's my tools that I bring. So that immediately, knocks off Monday through Friday up until 6 p.m. So usually it's, I'll occasionally suggest a late Friday as an option, but usually we're talking Saturdays and Sundays. And then it's Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon. I can't do Sunday mornings because I have church. Well, then once that's blocked off, I've got to check that against the calendar of events, because if there's any events in the Principality right now, or even the northern half of the central region of Ansteora, I may or may not want to risk conflicting with those. We don't typically get a huge amount of attendees anyway, and some of the ones we do get, they sometimes like to go to events. So sometimes you'll see me take 4 perfectly good weekends and knock them down to 2 in a heartbeat. It really kind of grinds. And then we're not done. I gotta go check the local calendar. We have baronial work days, and sometimes we have meetings for our own events or activities that we're planning outside of Woodworkers Guild. I'm a baronial officer. Sometimes I need to go meet with someone, or I've got to meet with my deputy. And I can quickly knock another Sunday, or I can knock a Saturday morning or a Sunday afternoon off the calendar real fast. So when I'm done with this first part of this process, I'm sitting there with 4, maybe 5 weekends, of which maybe 3 of them have any time slots available at all that I can be at, and maybe 1 weekend has both Saturday morning, afternoon, and Sunday afternoon. As all blocks available. So what I'll then do is, we have a Facebook group that we use to coordinate, and I'll go to the Facebook group and I'll create a poll listing all these dates and the morning or afternoons, and it'll say like the date and then the day and so forth. And if any of these conflict with an event, I'll put a note on the poll saying opposite of said event. I want my people making informed decisions when they vote on this. And then I'll post the poll and I'll say, okay, month of March, here are the dates that are that I can make it to. Let's get a poll. I'll close it in a week, and we will whatever date gets the most votes. That's pretty much the way I run it right now. So I'll let that run, and there's always someone will IM me going, oh, I can't make any of those, or a few days later, like one date will have 6 votes. Someone goes, oh, it looks like it's going to be that date, and I can't make it. I've got a family dinner, or I've got a doctor's appointment that I can't get home from, and it breaks my heart because we got some good members. We really have people that really enjoy this, but life pulls them in different directions, and it's trivial from an academic standpoint. I mean, you can't make it, you can't make it. If 6 people can and 1 can't, 6 are going to win. But it breaks my heart because I have these people who want to come, and I'm like, I want to move mountains so that these extra people can make it. And there was actually 1 month where I held 2 meetings simply so I could accommodate as many people as I could. So I'll wait a week, usually, give or take. And then I'll go look at the dates and I'll be like, well, yep, looks like we got a clear winner. And then I'll go to the library website. Now, I know every community is different, but in Oklahoma City, the Metropolitan Library System has one central website, and you can go through there and look at all the local libraries to see what their rental spaces are available on what days. And I think it's a really good system. You just got to go to each library. It's a little bit of digging around, and then you got to start looking for, okay, what libraries have rooms available at that time? And you would be surprised how fast a Sunday afternoon can fill up on some of these libraries. I've had days where, like, I'll check in on like a Thursday right before I close the poll, and the 2 libraries closest to me, they got plenty of openings Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, I'm not too worried. Almost all of them have multiple rooms. Yeah, well, I'll close it Friday afternoon, and I'll have, okay, so everyone voted on a Saturday afternoon. Cool. All of a sudden, all these libraries, Saturday afternoons filled up. So I'm sitting here checking other libraries, and so far I haven't had any trouble. But it's been nice having that option, but there have been a few times where I'm like, ooh, are we not going to have space? And we usually, when we started the guild, we held all the meetings outdoors because it was the summer. It was warm, and I have a huge tree in my front yard, plenty of shade. It's usually been great weather for woodworking. But it's February now, March. The weather's not reliable. It may be nice, or it could be too cold. Like, it's some of our members, some people have showed up, have had health issues. They seriously don't want to be out in the cold. Like, it can be literally dangerous for them. So that's not something I want to flirt with. Until we get to more stable weather where it's not going to hose us or blow us over or freeze us to death, I'm okay doing indoor spaces. Then I'll do the announcement. I'll do a Facebook event for it, and I will, advertise the hell out of it. It goes on our Facebook group. It goes on the Canton's Facebook group. I'll share a post down to the Namron, which is the barony immediately south of Wiesenfeuer. I'll share it to my personal Facebook group. I'll go to our Discord server and make sure people there know. Um, and then after I'm done not quite spamming, but after I'm done letting the world know, then I kind of take a break because that's usually a week or 2 or 3 off. Then the day of, oh God, and it's not that it's a lot of, no, it's a lot of stuff. I'll just say it. You got to move all the lumber I'm going to need for the project, my portable tool bench, my tool chest, which is 85 pounds right now. Got a few more tools coming in, may add some weight to that real fast. Get all that loaded up, and the tarp, which is not light, because I've got a ground tarp so I don't get wood shavings all over the library floor. And then I go to the library, and it's about a half hour to set up, lay out the tarp, set up the workbench, bring in the toolbox, set up the lumber. Sometimes I got to set up the dry erase board. It's a good 30 minutes of pretty frantic running around getting things set up. Now, you'll notice that in all of this, I've never talked about how I select my projects. Let me let you in on a little secret. I may or may not be wondering what I'm going to teach 10 minutes before people show up. It can be a little crazy. I'll neither confirm nor deny that there have been a few classes where I threw a bunch of lumber in the back of the van and hauled butt over to the where we were having class and was deciding on the way what we were going to teach. Now I've gotten a little better about it. I've managed to find some stuff, and I will tell you one of the best, one of the godsends in teaching woodworking is there's a number of really good project channels on YouTube that I like watching, but also there's some really, really good books that I have invested in. And it's not the master carpentry books. It's not the how to build bookshelves or how to build wardrobes. It's a lot of the really basic stuff, the basic joints, the basic tool work, basic tool care. These are the ground level stuff. And the reason, and this is kind of the thesis for this whole thing, the reason why I wait so long to choose my topics is, it's not just that I'm not a master woodworker, but you've got to understand that when I'm teaching something in one of these classes, chances are I only learned it a few months before. This is as much, I'm sharing what I legitimately know, and I research the hell out of them. So when I go talk about these subjects, I've got the receipts to credibly talk about this material. But at the same time, when I talk about picture frame making, or when I talk about chair making, or flattening planks, or using a shooting board to clean up lumber, these are not things I've been doing for years. These are things that I have been doing for months, sometimes weeks. I learn it, I practice it till I'm decent at it, usually to get a project done, and then I turn around and go, hey, how do we want to do this? And I don't do any of this deceptively. When asked, I'm very candid about, I just kind of learned this myself, and it's really cool, and I want to share it. But for those that see me at these meetings, I've kind of stumbled into this scenario where I think it's very easy to see me as some sort of woodworking expert. And I just want to dispel that myth right now. I am an amateur woodworker who might maybe qualify as an apprentice on any medieval scale. I'm probably one step up above whatever the little page boys were doing when they were helping the wood guy by sweeping his floors. I really don't see myself much past that in skill level in some respects. But I am someone who loves woodworking and loves the community that woodworking brings together. And the guilds, the guild is brought together, I'd say about 40% for teaching purposes, and I'd say the rest, the other 60% is the community that I'm trying to build and am building. I You learn better, you learn faster, in my opinion, when you are with people who share that interest. And when a bunch of people come together and say, we want to learn this, it forms a community of people who share that interest. And that's a lot of what I get. That's a lot of what I'm trying to make out of Woodworkers Guild here. And part of the video is I wanted to offer you a glimpse into what it's like being the guild head of the Woodworkers Guild of the Barony of Wiesenfeuer. But also, I wanted to just be candid with you, and I wanted to say and share and point out that it's kind of this frantic what's next moment by moment adventure for me, that maybe it won't be that in a year or two or three. Maybe it'll get to a point where I'm a little calmer and a little more thought out. But I got to be honest with you, it's an adventure, and I'm not complaining. This is it's stressful at times. It's given me a gray hair or two, but if I had it to do over again, I wouldn't change a thing. And going forward, you know what? I'm kind of liking the way it's going, even if it is a bit frantic. It's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So that's what I wanted to talk with you about. I wanted to share that insight. I wanted to just kind of share with you what it's like jumping in heads first. I founded the guild. I'm running it, and I have no idea what next year's going to hold. I'm just trying to make it through 2023 right now. But it's an adventure, and I love it. It's one of the good decisions, one of the great decisions I've made down here in Wiesenfeuer, and I love every second of it, and I look forward to even more of it. So until next time, I will see you at the next event or the next guild meeting, wherever we cross paths. Until then, goodbye and God bless.